Hello everyone, welcome again back to my channel and welcome to today's video. I'm just going to start off by saying if you have enjoyed these books, I'm very happy for you. I really am. I wish that I were to hold some sort of enthusiasm like you for these books. As you probably would know by the title of this video, this is my worst books of 2021. There's only 3 books that I think are the worst for 2021. Then I have DNFs and disappointments. Let's just get the controversial ones out of the way, starting off with the worst books of 2021. First one being Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I am realizing that I am a little more of a character-focused person when it comes to books. I could not stand the characters in this book. They just grated on my nerves. I just did not like this book at all, yet somehow I still continued reading it. The love story between these 2 characters whose name I can't even fucking remember. I really cannot remember these characters' names. I don't know, I just wasn't a fan of the romance either. The way that the security guard treated the son of the female president. Just, what the hell? What the hell? I know yous have been together. I know that the security guard was in his family for so long that they're basically family, but oh fucking hell. No, just no. No, 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 no. The second no is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book really grated on my nerves as well, yet I still found the library fascinating, even though it was just kind of, I don't know, was The Midnight Library interesting? Well, it kind of was, to see what your life could have been like if this had have happened. I am really struggling my hardest to try and explain to you why I didn't like it. It just felt like the mental health aspect wasn't really talked about enough because this character commits suicide, so trigger warnings for suicide. When it comes to worst books, or books I don't like, or books I think are just horrible, I tend to forget what I don't like about them. They're just like deleted from my mind basically. Yeah, this book was not good, did not work for me, and with the mental health rep I wanted more of that. Look, if you go into Goodreads and look at people's 1-star ratings of these books, I think you'll understand why, because I actually kind of agree with them. Okay, now I'm starting to remember something. Like, it's so easy for someone to say to another person in this book, oh, just life will get better if you do this and you do that. It's easy in theory, but it's hard when you put it into practice. And the last worst book of 2021 was You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes. Hated it. Hated it, hated it, hated it. Why do people like Joe Goldberg? I have no idea. He is a creep. He is a fucking stalker and people obsess over him. People drop their peonies for him. I don't understand people online. I really don't when it comes to Joe Goldberg and you. I don't even think I would even like the TV show, because I watched a little bit of it with my parents. They haven't even finished watching it because they didn't like it either. I was very surprised I started watching it anyway, but just what the hell. If Joe Goldberg is a creep and being in his mind made me want to rip out my own hair, I don't like him. He is a fucking terrible character. And the show, I was talking about the show. The sex scenes and just the characters talking about sex in the show makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable. I don't mind sex, like, fine, whatever, it's a part of natural life. People do it, people don't, whatever. It made me feel really uncomfortable. Just the way that they talked about it and the way it was portrayed, just, oh, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Now let us get onto the DNFs and disappointments. I just want to quickly talk about these books and explain why I have done these things. The DNFs. One Day by David Nichols. I thought this book was a little too dense, and that was the main reason why I have DNF'd this book. I did read it in February it's February, it's the month of love, and so I know what happens at the end of this book because I spoiled myself with it in Goodreads, and that really doesn't bother me too much for me to spoil it. because now I know what happens. Now, I didn't really feel the romance between the characters. Maybe I needed to give it some time, but I just thought this was incredibly dense and hard for me to get through. The 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Nothing happened in this book. I have heard so many people say, stick with it, just keep going. It'll get better towards the end, and by the end it'll be just like kapow. No, I'm sorry, I don't think this is worth the hype, this book. I may give this book a chance, another chance, I don't know. I just don't think this series is for me, especially since I heard that the first book is really damn good and some people's favorites. Then it kind of goes downhill from there. For me, I don't think it's worth sticking around to the end. Not a lot happened. I was halfway through the book. I DNF'd this book at like 50% of the way through. Nothing happened. I don't mind if nothing usually happens as long as I'm interested and invested. And there were some interesting things in there. I just could not. I couldn't. I'm really sorry, but I couldn't. I forgot a book. I'm too lazy, but I'll put it up here. Season of Storms by Andrzej Sapkowski. I'm a little upset about it for 2 reasons that kind of cancel each other out. I'm upset I didn't enjoy this, and I'm upset I DNF'd it. Oh god. I tell ya, my brain. But yeah, just this book, it's such a different feeling to the main series, and I love the series a lot. It's such a good series. It felt so different. But then when I DNF'd it, I thought, hey, there's a little something going on here. Yeah, as of now, it's a no for me. The last one I DNF'd is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. Characters' voices are a bit bland. Time jumps, which I usually don't mind, but it just kind of like out of the blue, out of nowhere. Like I said, characters' voices felt the same. I didn't really feel any distinction between the two. I think that's pretty much it from what I remember from my December wrap-up. Oh, so many characters as well, which I usually don't mind, but in this instance, I did not enjoy it. And I don't like the romance between Citra and Rowan. It's just, YA romance is just a no-no for me. Now, the last section of this video, the disappointments. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The later half, so like books 4 to 6, I found disappointing, which I'm sad about because I loved the first 3. Actually, the second and third one, the first one was a bit cliche, but I did love the original trilogy. The romance, I don't like. The monsters and the characters, I do, especially Enoch. And with just his sarcasm and his just overall negativity. And then the issue with the trilogy stuff should have just ended, and with that villain should have just ended. Just someone or something was brought back that should have just stayed where they should have. This book should have just been left as a trilogy. But I liked the monsters, I liked the action and the atmosphere. Oh, Ransom Riggs is so good with atmosphere. I will definitely be reading more of his books. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This does the thing where it erases everything that happens and it makes the character out to be crazy. Kind of thing. I don't like it. The book within the book segments, because the character, one of the main characters in this book, the father, he is a writer and he moves into this haunted house that like, is it actually really haunted kind of thing. And those chapters with the book within the book was fantastic. That is the kind of stuff I really enjoyed reading about. Riley Sager is very good with her creepy elements. The other stuff, I just felt really missed the mark for me, unfortunately. Aristotle Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Alide Sayons. I don't like the romance between Ari and Dante in this one, unfortunately. Overall disappointed by how it ended up. This was a lot longer than it needed to be. The chapters were also longer, and it was not a good time. I do have a reading vlog for this, so if you want to check that out, you can do so. All these disappointments of the books I'm talking about is making me really upset. It really is. It really truly is. And anyway, The Wind Blows. A lot of lead up, a lot of unnecessary, well, it's not really unnecessary, but like a lot of character work, which I usually love character work, but all that stuff could have happened in book 2, and we should have had a lot more action, a little bit more plot in this one. I think Baz deserves better than Simon, and just, yeah, this unfortunately disappointed me. If you've seen my December wrap up, you would know I love Baz with my whole heart. I can't even talk about these disappointments because I'm so disappointed in them. But that's also my fault for not writing down notes and wanting to get this done and over quickly, so that's my fault as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you have, I was very ill prepared for this video as well as my best books video, which I thought it would have been easier since I've already talked about these books. It just would have been easier for me to talk about why I love them, but clearly not. Clearly I need a bit of a refresher. Let me know, what were your worst books of 2021? Did the books on any of my lists surprise you? Were you really not that surprised at all? Did you feel the same way that I did? Please let me know down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I apologize for being so ill-prepared. But anyway, thank you very much for watching if you have. And goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!